All right, ladies and gentlemen, please stand up. Give Brian a huge RE/MAX welcome. Put your hands together.
Hey, they got the green on, huh? Hey! How we doing? How we doing? Great to see you. Take a seat. You paid for it. All right, I need to find out who's in the room. If you're from the US of A, let me hear you make some noise. Woo! All right, if we have any Canadians in the room, let me hear you. All right. Many of them just came. They actually didn't go to bed, the Canadians. They stayed up all night. If you're from outside the USA in Canada, let me hear you. Arriba! Yay, good to see you. Oh, it's good to be seen. There's not much going on in real estate, is there? Nothing to report here. Nothing to see here. Oh, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to have a good time today. You know, real estate is a fabulous business. And the number one reason is it's such a strange business. It is the eternal source of content for me as a speaker. I'm never going to be short of comedy. It's never going to be short. So I like to start off with a few funny things. Here's a little picture I saw this morning that I thought it used to be a buyer's market. Sure, Grandma, let's get to bed right now, okay? It's all good. I saw this one. I thought you might like this one. If your real estate agent's pants look like this, you will not be e-signing anything. Come on. Now, if you got pants like this in the room right now, just rip the cuff off, okay? It's okay. It's all good, no worries. I will also tell you, I'm going to show you how difficult it is to compete in this marketplace, how hard it is for you to stand out amongst your competition. I'm going to show you the kind of cutting-edge marketing that exists in real estate today. This is a real-life picture. Let me show you this one right here. Urine look. How in the hell are you people not selling more homes? Your chief competition is putting ads on top of urinals. Oh, let me grab my pen right now. Every time I take a pee, I think of you. You know, one of the things I hear all the time is, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. My business is down. Everything happens for a reason. And my kid sent me this little meme, and I thought, this is good. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. How about that one? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time today. Can we have a good time? Is that still allowed? They haven't outlawed that, have they? They haven't, no lawsuits about us having a good time. I'm going to share some information with you. How about that? And so what I want you to do is have your phones handy. I'm going to show you lots of cool graphics and stats and numbers. And I want you to get out of here with this stuff so you can know, learn, and share this stuff. So have your phones handy. Every screen I show you, take a picture. It's good to go. I'm going to share with you our Do It Now campaign, which is probably in 30 years of business, maybe not since the first 100 Days to Greatness, have we created something that's taken the market by storm. And the reason being is that this particular campaign is designed to put RE/MAX agents in the position RE/MAX agents are designed to be, which is controlling the listing inventory. And one of the things I hope to do here while I'm with you all today is kind of remind RE/MAX agents that sign in the yard is the iconic symbol in this industry. No one in the last 25 years, no company's come close to even half of the listing inventory that this company's created, and the agents in here have created. And now we have a shortage of inventory, some changes in the market, and I'm going to share with you a methodology that is right now, we're seeing in the first 90 days of the year, people having a 5- and 6-fold increase in the number of listing leads. So is anybody interested in having a few more listings? Okay. And then lastly, here's the main reason I came. I don't do this stuff very much anymore outside of my own events, but I don't do this much more, but when I do, I prefer to do Remax. But I would like this. I'd like you to do this. I would like, by the time we're finished, in 90 minutes from now, you go, that was worth going to Vegas for. That was worth my time. I want you to be in 90 minutes from here. During the course of this 90 minutes, I'd like to challenge some of you to rededicate yourself to the talent you have, the opportunity you have to be as good as you're capable of being. And for some of you, maybe for the first time ever, to make the decision to put the chips all into the center of the table and say, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. No more excuses, no more complaining, no more talking about the market. I'm living in the land of opportunity in the greatest business in the world. I got a great brand behind me, and I'm going out the doors here today, and I'm going to be as successful as I know I'm capable of being. And if we can get that done, we'll have a good time. Now, we will get to a little Q&A. They're going to have some mics and whatever else at the end. And to address this stuff, how many of you have questions and your thoughts about, okay, how's the real estate business going to change here in the U.S.? How many have some questions on that stuff? Well, I'm going to do a broadcast April 1st. You can take a picture of this. So rather than occupy this whole day today about it, we have tens of thousands of people showing up for this thing. So April 1st, I'm going to do the future real estate, and we'll talk about how we got to the situation we're in, the NAR ruling and all that stuff. I'm going to talk about what's going to happen. It's going to be bumpy for a few months for sure. It's going to be a bumpy business. I'm going to show you, okay, when the pilot comes on and says we're coming to turbulence in 10 minutes and you tighten your seatbelt, it's not that scary. Would you guys agree? So I'm going to show you how to tighten your seatbelt when it gets a little bumpy. And then I'm going to share an exact pathway forward so you know what to do and how to navigate and come out the door a winner, because there's a lot of people are going to leave. There's a lot of people heading for the exits. There's a lot of opportunities for leaders. There's an opportunities for team leaders, and there's a huge opportunity for agents. I don't want to take up all that time here today. So April 1st, Facebook Live, free. Come on down. Be there. You can ask a question on that too. Everybody good? All right, let's get to work. Turn to the person next to you and say, let's get to work. By the way, how many of you just turned to someone who has a hangover right now? Okay. Okay, just say it quiet if I do that stuff. All right, so a little State of the Union. If you're ready, say I'm ready. 2020. Now I'm going to give U.S. numbers, but it translates very similar all over the world, same patterns. Canada, almost identical. 2020, we had 5.6 million transactions. 2021, we had 6.1 million transactions. Everybody's fat and happy. Okay? Now, Warren Buffett says, you don't know who's swimming naked till the tide goes out. And in the last 6 months or so, there's been a lot of butt cheeks available in real estate. So what happened is, and people didn't realize it, 6.1 down to 5.1. Just so you know, we were all happy in 2022 because the market was moving so fast, average sales prices had gone up so quick. So even though there was a massive fall off in 2022, people thought it was great because of the results. First point to remember, don't confuse results with the health of your business. The truth of the matter is the big drop-off was between 21 and 22. But the problem is everybody was making so much money, the market was moving so fast that nobody really noticed. Between 2022 and 2023, we dropped down to 3.9 million transactions. Now, I want to give you context of that. The last time there were that few transactions in the United States, for example, was 1993. 30 years ago. Now, here's one of the facts to remind yourself about that. We did as few transactions as we did in 1993. In 1993, the population of the United States was 260 million. Now it's 340. There were 80 million more people. So if it felt like not great last year, or if you did okay last year, you're a freaking rock star. So, you know, how many of you had a pretty good year? Yeah. Hey. Remember Mad Magazine? What? Me worry? Remember that? So think about the context. So if you felt like you got hit or it's gotten a little flat or whatever else, we haven't had this few transactions 30 years ago, and there was 80 million less people in the country. Legally. I know there's a few Irishmen sneaking in right now. So that's the context of understanding. So now let me kind of share with you where I believe things are going, okay? And so we're down at 3.9. I believe we're going to finish this year 4.6. Now, you won't see that in many places. Many people are going to say, no, that's not the projections around. And I'm going to tell you why it's the case. And then 2025, I think we'll be back to 5.3. It's a real solid market. A real solid market. I'm going to show you the data and the information. I have a research team available in real estate. There's very few people can research the market anymore. All the research companies work for stock companies. We research real estate. I have a team of researchers who work in concert with teams of researchers, whether it be NAR, whether it be Wells Fargo. We have access to all of this resource, and we do some pretty significant research. That right there will be a nice tail. Now, I'm going to walk you through the process, but let me put it this way. How many of you in here believe in the law of the harvest? You ever heard the law of the harvest? You reap what you've heard that. So would you say as a farmer, if you don't cultivate the land, plant some seeds, water, fertilize, you probably shouldn't expect a harvest? Would you guys agree with that? I'm going to say this from my perspective. We're the largest coaching company in the world for real estate. I'm observing an industry that there's a whole bunch of people not planting seeds who are waiting for a harvest. This is the season. A farmer has to sow seeds by faith. I'm going to plant the seeds. I'm going to till the hard ground. I'm going to do the up and down at dusk, early, hard work. And in the fall, I'm going to reap a harvest. And we've gotten into this, I'm going to buy my leads, I'm going to get the instant fix, I'm going to make the money now kind of mentality. And that's never been the real estate business. The real estate business, by the very nature, is a 90-day business. You meet someone who says, I want to sell, I want to buy. You're not cashing a check that day. Is that true? Okay, unless you're working for El Chapo, you're not working that way. So this is a season of planting. Do you guys catch what I just said? This is the season. And if you plant sparingly, you will reap sparingly. Y'all good? You put 3 seeds in the ground, don't expect the full field. Now is the time. Now is the time. And there's a heck of a lot of people going out the exits at the same time, and there's a lot of people just sitting around bitching about the market and the interest rates and the government and whoever else and whatever else is going. And the truth of the matter is, that stuff's not going to change. So let me get to the good news. You ready? You got your phones ready to take some pictures? There's 2 elements that create buyer demand in real estate. There's only ever been 2. There only will ever be 2. Household formation and employment. How many people form a house? What happens in people's lives translates into need. I have 6 children. Seemed like a great idea at the time. When my bride and I got married 33 years ago, that little 2-bedroom starter house doesn't work for the crew I have today. Does that make sense? Needed a bigger space. So you have household formation. Looks like this. Now, this is one of these kind of, you can tell a real economist put this together because it looks like make your eye twirls. But here's all the generations. Household formation starts at 26. 26. First-time buyer. Now, first-time buyer age 3 years ago was 32, then became 33, then became 34. It's harder and longer. People are taking longer to buy homes. So there are 72 million millennials, but there are 45 million millennials in the household formation age, between 26 and 35. In baseball, they call it the on-deck circle. That's next batter up. Listen to me. That number is by far the largest amount in the history of North America. And this is worldwide, it's the same numbers. Canada, it's even maybe a little higher percentage. Okay? 45 million people are in the household formation stage, and their number one economic goal is to buy a home. So you are in a business where the single largest amount of people who want to buy your product are coming into the on-deck circle. Is anybody happy to hear that? 11 for-profit people. Have we now become socialists? Are we happy to hear that? There's 45 million people coming to buy your product. Are you happy to hear that? For the love of Mary. But the interest rates. 45 million people are now in the on-deck circle to buy the product you sell. Just make a note of this. That's good news. Employment. Now, the Fed has jacked up rates, the fastest and the highest in the history of the Fed. And they've done it to get to a stated goal of 6% unemployment. Well, like most remarkable government programs, they have failed miserably. They have jacked up the rates. They have caused all kinds of challenges in lots of places. Now, I understand why they did it, because we had runaway inflation, lots of stories about that and how we got there. The unemployment rate right now is 3.9%. The goal is 6. The average unemployment rate since the year 2000 is 5.99. Uh-oh. We have 45 million people in the on-deck circle, and almost all of them are employed. Oh my goodness. What shall we do? What shall we do? 45 million buyers coming your way. And they're all working. That's called good news. So let's take a look at the bad news. Interest rates. 2020, 3.72. 2021, 2.65. Artificially created interest rates. Okay? The Fed was loaning money at 0. Okay? It's artificial. Now, some people are sitting on a loan like that. They hate their house but love their loan. How many of you have a client like that? 3.2, and then we jacked up to 8%. Now we start to see a little love and come down. By the way, the Fed hasn't changed the rates, but have the interest rates come down a little bit, yes or no? So let me share with you. We know from new construction what the irresistible number is. So new construction builders, massive amount of them, last year going, oh my gosh, I got all this inventory. I got to get rid of this inventory, and 8%. So they started buying down the rates quarter at a time, quarter at a time, quarter at a time, to see when people would bite. It's like putting a little hook in the water. Okay, they don't like the worms. Okay, let me try the flies. And when they went to 5.75, they got a flood. So they started buying down the interest rates. One of the things that's wild about this year is they stopped filing permits for new construction, bought down the rates. Now all the new construction's gone. What did they know? 6% was an irresistible number. Did you guys hear that? 6% was an irresistible number. We will be at 6% by the end of this year. There's 3 rate cuts coming. Are you ready? Are you? Are you sitting on a boatload of listings? Are you generating a bunch of listing prospects? You ever heard of the golden rule? He with the gold rules? The golden rule in real estate, you got to have listings. You with me? The buyers are there. They coming. They coming. And they're just waiting for little bitsy little drops in the rates, and here we go. So my projection is we'll be at 6 by the end of the year and 5.25 by the end of 25. Pretty confident in those numbers. Been researching, doing it a lot, whatever else. You've ever seen the Bold Predictions I've done for 15 years? How many of you have ever watched the Bold Predictions show? It's been fairly accurate. Would you guys agree? Lots of resources, lots of people, and there's lots of people out there doing research. One of my favorite, you want to follow him, is Mark Zandi. Does a great job. And he's like, hey, here's what he thinks. Fixed rate below 6 by late 24. Home steadily going to rebound. Sales. Incomes will continue to increase. And he says home prices will come down slightly. Why is he saying that? Because there's going to be an influx of inventory. And houses, more and more sellers are going to have to actually compete with one another. More on that later. Now, obviously, the people who are sitting on the interest rates they feel like a king. Saw this yesterday. People who locked in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 2.65, that's what they look like. They look like an old despot who oppressed an Irish country for hundreds of years. Oh, sorry, that was my inside language, sorry. Sorry, that was supposed to be silent. In 1971, the interest rate was 7.33%. Does that look familiar? If you waited for rates to drop, you wouldn't have bought a home until 1993. You would have rented for 22 years, and while you waited for rates to go down, the house values quadrupled. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. You might want to take a picture of that. And now here's how I know how RE/MAX agents do. The first time they quote me, they say, Brian Buffini says, and then the second time they quote me, as I always say. Knock yourselves out. Okay. We're in a world right now where if you want to lose weight, eat right, exercise, that's old hat. You want to buy gummies. Okay? You want to invest in something, go for Bitcoin. That should do it. Buy your leads. Just buy leads. Sit back in a hammock. You're good. So I have a plan for 2024 for myself, for my company, and for the agents. How many of you have either been coached by Buffini & Company, you've done 100 Days to Greatness training, you've been a part of our program? Let me see your hands nice and high. Great. Nice to play to the home crowd. Well, here's my plan for 2024. 3 initials, PHW. PHW. PHW stands for pure hard work. That's the formula we have for success. Yep, one clap. Yep. Went over like a fart in church right there, didn't it? PHW. That's what I'm promising our staff. That's what I'm promising all the people we coach and train. Pure hard work. The kind of pure hard work that farmers put in. The kind of pure hard work that reaps a harvest. The kind of pure hard work that's kind of immune to market forces, government lawsuits, and anything else. Pure hard work. The right kind of stuff. My favorite author, he says this: if you want uncommon success, you got to make uncommon sacrifices. That guy's great, isn't he? That guy comes out with a book, I just buy it. Okay, so I'm going to share with you something Buffini & Company has invested millions of dollars into. We wanted to do the research. We networked and partnered with research firms, and we went after the real estate consumer in a massive way. And we wanted to find out what the motivating factors were for people to move. Because we talk to a customer, and we can say, oh, it's the rates or it's the inventory. The only thing that counts is what does it mean to them? Real estate is connected to people's lives. What you do is so important because it affects people's lives. You don't sell widgets, you know? You sell something that is intrinsic to the quality of a human being's existence. That's why you're such an important person to so many people you've helped throughout the years. How many people have you ever heard clients of yours say, we love our home? That's what we do. So we have to find the intrinsic motivators. So watch this. What we discovered is the 10 reasons why people are moving in the next 12 months. And then what we did as an organization, we revamped everything we do and have been doing for a long time and built target marketed approach to identify each one of the 10 people. And we've always done marketing that kind of appealed to everybody. And now what we've done is for all the people we serve, and many of you are here today, we target marketed the resources. So whether it be a mailing, followed by an e-report, followed by social media postings, all of that would align with the type of seller that we were talking to. Does that make sense? So over the course of a year, we would cover the entire market. So here is, by order of depth, the 10 reasons why people are moving. How many of you need some more listings? Let me see your hands. The key is to find the intrinsic motivation of the seller. Why are they willing to do it? Number one reason, family ties. Remember the Carpenter song, Close to You? 21% of people who intend to sell in the next 12 months, the move is to be closer to family. So you got to have your marketing lined up that way. You got to have your messaging lined up that way. You got to have your discussion points. It's a fifth of the market. Here's some little stats. Over the next 2 years, 7 million babies will be born, 3 million marriages, 50 million job changes. 50 million job changes. So these things happen. Babies, grandbabies are born. People want to get housing. People want to live closer together. Second, need a bigger space. This was 11% of the market. COVID. You remember the whole movement towards tiny houses? You remember the tiny house show? And the people buying the tiny house, so cool, and just whatever, and, beards and earrings, and, the pants so tight if you fart the ankle swell. You know that whole thing? So I've got a tiny house. And then COVID came, and they were all locked up together, and they started killing each other. So post-COVID, people go, no, I need a place to work. I need a gym. The kids might need a classroom. I need a room where he goes, so I don't have to see him. So needing a bigger home became a big deal. Is that true? So people want to upgrade the size of their home. Here's a little tip. 21.5% of the workforce will work remotely by 2025. Number 3, love the rate. And we put it gently, but the house no longer fits our needs. How many of you sold someone a house and they bought it because if they didn't buy it, they were getting nothing? Can I see your hands? And now the house, they're like, don't love the house. Not our fault as agents. We did the best we could. So here's an example of the marketing system. So there's one of the mail pieces. Love our interest rate, but this house no longer fits our needs. Okay? And then here's the price for sellers waiting and the price for buyers waiting. Things like that. By the way, if you're at a party and you hear people talking about real estate, you'll hear that come up almost more than anything else. We got a great interest rate. We don't want to leave the rate, but we don't love our house. We need a bigger house. We need this, we need that. Does that make sense? Number 4, legacy real estate. This is becoming a huge deal. Baby boomers were the first generation to ever buy real estate for more than just shelter. Baby boomers invested in real estate at a bigger rate than anybody else. We're about to see, over the next 20 years, the largest handoff of equity in the history of the world. Some estimates around $30 trillion of equity. Okay? So here you go. 23% of first-time buyers used a gift or a loan from family or friends for their down payment. By the way, the number was 54% for millennials. So family members are tapping into their equity to help someone buy a home. And I'll show you how it shows up in 3 ways. One is they'll do it through taking money out. One way is through downsizing, and another is when they do a vacation home. So I'm going to put that together for you. Vacation homes. It was always number 9 or 10. It's now number 5. And this is tricky. How many of you work in vacation home markets? Let me see your hands. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a dynamic that I've never seen in my 38 years in the business. So what's happening is people are buying their vacation home and then starting to do a bit of remote work there. And then after a period of time, they're more familiar with the neighborhood, they're spending more time there. And then what they're doing is, about 18 months later, putting their primary residence on the market and listing their home. I have a house on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I'm telling you that during COVID, the amount of properties that were built there was extraordinary. And what I'm seeing more and more people, they're not tourists anymore. They're called kama'aina. Okay, they're living there. So here's the thing. How many of you have been able to refer someone through the RE/MAX network to buy a vacation home? Let me see your hands. You need to stay in touch with that agent, because those agents are going to call you back and say, by the way, they're planning to sell their primary now. So for the first time ever, the vacation home is coming back to actually be the primary listing as well. Are you guys tracking with what I just said? So you don't just send them off, oh, enjoy your vacation home. Those people with the vacation homes, 18 months later, are saying, I'm going to make this my permanent home. I'm going to make this my permanent home. And people are going into this active retirement where they're working 2 to 3 days a week, and they're living in the vacation home now permanently. Make sense? Never had that situation before. Vacation homes were always second homes. Number 6, lots of equity, lots of choice. Important, because everybody's talking about the rates. 33% of all buyers are cash buyers. It's the highest number in 10 years. So we get to the point where we go, oh, no, hang on a second here. Oh, the rates and the fan and therefore I'm just going to sit at home and watch Shogun on Hulu. Which is very good, by the way. So we don't not putting in the work. 1/3 of all transactions are cash. Okay? 1/3 of all transactions. So let's make sure we're doing the lead generation. Let's make sure we're getting it out there. Number 7, upgrade the neighborhood. It's a newer stat. Some cities have not done a great job with their policing, homeless communities out of control, schools. So this now is, it's not so much a political thing, but people are just making some lifestyle choices, okay? 30% of buyers aged 33 to 42 name the quality of the school district as a top factor when choosing their neighborhood. I got friends. Number 8, time to downsize. If you want to make a note of this, it's called the silver tsunami. Every time I do, up until the NAR settlement agreement, when I would talk to national media, the only conversation they want to talk about is the silver tsunami. There's an awful lot of heat behind this. Bottom line is, there's an older population in real estate, homeowners, baby boomers, and even the beginning of the older Gen Xers that are in a situation where they're getting ready to move, downsize, relocate. A lot of times, their family moved out of state, perhaps, to go to an area, their younger family, they've got grandkids now, they're going to downsize and go after them. Make sense? So we need marketing that aligns with that. 7 million people in the next 2 years will turn 65. Silver tsunami. They got big-time equity. Big-time equity. They can even afford to pay your fees. I just sent the RE/MAX lawyer into spasm. I'm allowed to talk about it. By the way, is it reasonable for people who do what we do to get paid? It's just checking on that. Is that okay? It's okay. Just checking. Out-of-area relocation. Okay? We know this. It's been constant. I'm going to show you some interesting stats on this. People are moving for tax reasons. I live in the People's Republic of California. So we've had a few folks exit the state. New Jersey, New York. They say the favorite beverage in Miami. They go, what's the favorite beverage in Miami? What's the favorite wine? They go, why can't this be more like New York? Okay, everybody's moved down there. They're just pissed off. Out-of-area relocation. Hey, you have a thing called a referral network in RE/MAX, right? Yeah? You ever heard of it? Has anybody ever heard of it? Some of you have. This is amazing. So the bottom line is, you got the highest producing agents who cover every market area, and you come to events like this and connect. You should be building a database of RE/MAX agents yourself, people you build relationships with, okay? Where's all my Canadian friends? Let me see your hands nice and high. So watch this. The market's been down. Watch this. In 2022, Canadian buyers in the U.S. increased by 31% year over year, and so it went up 31% in 23, it increased 20% year over that. Where are they going? Yeah, they're trying to get rid of Trudeau. Yeah, that's all right. I'm going to get in trouble today, haven't I? Wouldn't be the first time. That's why my brother Dermot runs the company, okay? Dermot's actually 28. He looks like he's 65. Top states purchased by international buyers. Let's take a look. In order, you might want to take a picture. Florida, California, Texas, North Carolina, Arizona. Boy, Georgia, I hope you're networking while you're here. You know, you're the ones who showed up for R4. You got chances to connect and network, okay? And so now it's just speed dating. Just look at the badge. You're from Canada. Florida? Yep. Okay. Missouri? No, I'm not talking to you. Humor. I've been to Missouri. Very nice place. Nice. If you like that sort of thing. Number 10. Change your work, change your life. Change your work, change your life. Okay, here it happens. 1.5 million divorces, 6 million deaths. Go back? We're told to go back? Okay, so you've been ordered to go back. Okay. You know what I always like about RE/MAX people? They always believe you're entitled to their opinion. I always like that. Oh, it's going to get frisky in here during the Q&A, isn't it? Here we go. 1.5 million divorces, 6 million deaths. Now, here's the thing. Don't go showing up at ceremonies that you don't belong at. I actually saw a realtor who had an ad outside a mortuary and it said, "Don't find a stiff of a realtor." You know what I call that? Job security for me. I mean, I'm never going to be out of a job. Okay. How many of you in here have heard of our Do It Now campaign? Let me see your hands. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you. This is my 10th time on the main stage at RE/MAX. I have never once promoted a product or service ever. I'm going to share with you, I got the cure for the market. So I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you to get it. It's called the Do It Now campaign. Now stands for N, no chaos. There's a little chaos coming. Would you guys agree? Own the listings and win market share. RE/MAX brokers, when the market got hot, we got so caught up in making money, we forgot about market share. Market share is the key. Market share is the key. Signs in yards is still the key. That's where it's at. That's where this business is. There's only two things in this business. There's sellers and there's buyers. There's only we've made it so complicated. What I'm encouraging people to do is to get focused. We have a shortage of inventory, and we now have a little bit of chaos in the industry. You can solve both problems with one approach. Does that make sense? And that's why last year, I was part of this. I was grilled in this lawsuit myself. Dave Stevens, late Dave Stevens, good friend of ours at Buffini Company, he testified in it. He was a great guy. He was the president of the Mortgage Bankers Association. We knew this thing wasn't going well. And that's why we started investing then to build this Do It Now campaign. So no chaos, own the listings, win the market share. This will be very familiar to this group because so many people have taken the 100 Days to Greatness course and the training. How many of you have seen this image before? Let me see your hands. Okay, there it is. Very fundamental. We're going to sort and qualify a database. A plus is A's, B's, C's, the O's, the online. And then we're going to use this system of contact, care, and community. This is the fundamentals. This is pure hard work. This is fundamentals. AI will not do this for you. I'm looking for EQ, not AI. EQ is emotional intelligence, relationships, becoming a trusted advisor to people, face-to-face, voice-to-voice, providing value to people. So we contact them through mail, through e-reports, and we make calls. Calls, you know your phone actually can be used for something other than the 9 things you use it for. We use it as a phone sometimes, but mostly we take pictures and we do email and we do this and that. Phone calls are still okay. So what we want to do, so here was what we developed for our members in January. What's ahead for the housing market? Everybody wanted to know? And so some of the stats I just shared with you, 72 million millennials, here's what's going on. And we shared with people, here's the average interest rate over the last 30 years. Give people a chance to go call behind it. Okay? And then there was an e-report that looks similar, so boom. What's going on with the market? Boom, here we go. And then we had social media assets. February, now you'll see when we got into it proper. What's the number one reason people are moving? To be closer to who? What's that? Family. What percentage of the market is it? 21%. So in February, here was the marketing campaign. Number one reason people are moving. You want to put a back case? Be closer to family. What happens? Ideal family outcome, little planning on the back of it, okay? What are the benefits? Okay? Assistance with child care, elder care, stronger family bonds, longer life expectancy. Here's what to do. Then an e-report, then social media. Okay, it's 21% of the market. We're going to target market 21%. You got to put the bait on the hook to catch the fish. And 21% will say, instead of some generic marketing, I'm number one. Don't care. They don't care what number you are. Are you with me? They want to know if you get them. For the first time ever, right now we can't tell if someone should fix up their house or sell their house because the rate of return. Now, paint in the cans were $20 in a can, $1,000 on the wall. So people should always stage and paint their properties. But for the first time ever, should I fix up the home? Right now, the rate of return says no. So we sent out a target marketing piece. Okay, why do we need to renovate? Options to consider. And then on the back of it, what's the cost? And then a little bit that say, hey, maybe you'd be better off upgrading your house instead of doing the major remodel. Okay? Target marketing, okay? Now, let me share with you the principles for this. And I'm going to give it. How many of you are members in Buffini Company right now? Let me see your hands. So I'm going to share this with you because you guys are very faithful at doing this, but sometimes we haven't been doing the last piece. So when we build this, we want to wow you as the agent, like, ooh, that looks good. I want to send that to my customers. I want to intrigue the consumer. And it creates an opportunity. Do you see what it says? Create an opportunity for a what? Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Say it again. The very thing that people don't want to do. Now, all you're going to do is call about the thing you sent them. You got something to say. We've told you what to say. By the way, here's what we found. Even agents that are leaving messages are getting a 40% callback on their messages because they're striking a chord with the information, the target marketing. Are you guys with me? So we want to mail, we want to e-report, we want to call. But wait, there's more. We got to care for people. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. In my 38 years in real estate, the number one activity that I have done in my career is write personal notes every day. Write personal notes every day. A $92 immigrant who became a very successful man. Number one thing, writing personal notes. Every day. Like brushing my teeth. Every day. And you know that they're more powerful today than ever before? When you get your mail, what do you open first? Those personal notes. Powerful. Powerful stuff. So we do personal notes. We do pop-bys. We go see people face to face. This is my version of a RE/MAX pop-by. And we always say, bring a little gift. Well, I'm the little gift today. 5'9", kind of top of the line for an Irish Italian. So you personal notes. You're going to pop by, bring people a little gift face to face. How are you doing? And then you can use a little video to support that and augment that, okay? It's a neat little story. RE/MAX agent Bruce in Denver sent a note to a former client, personal note. Lost touch with them. Followed up with a phone call. The client referred their son. 45 days later, closed on a $1.8 million home, his largest transaction ever. From one personal note. How much is a stamp? What was it, 39 or something? 45? Oh, the Canadians, it's like $9. Would you say it's under $1? Would you say $1 for a 1.8 million listing is a pretty good rate of return? That's El Chapo rates of return. Another RE/MAX agent in our system, Michelle Wiley from Dallas. She had her best year ever last year. I thought the market was down. She set a goal to write 520 personal notes. We give them 50 every month. So her goal was to send less than we actually gave her. That's a great goal. She wrote 806 personal notes. She did 35 deals, $400,000 commission. Double what she'd ever done. Pure, hard work. but it means something to people. Getting a personal note, okay, it might be a chore for you. It's a blessing for them. It might be the one positive thing they got that day, that week, that month. Just reaching out. It communicates your care. A little phone call communicates your professionalism. A pop-by, that's your professionalism and your ability to care. You're so important to me, I'm coming to see you, Steve. By the way, I got a referral for you. Remind me. Community. Going to break bread with people, we throw little client parties, and then we use the social media. Here's a RE/MAX agent, show you this up in Canada. Simple little thing. One of the things we encourage, Thanksgiving, the Canadian Thanksgiving is different than American, and did a little pie giveaway. How many of you in here do the pie giveaways for Thanksgiving, right? We've actually affected the change in Costco because so many with tens of thousands of agents are buying hundreds of pies, and so Costco gets rich. I got to figure that out. Here's an example. Here's Michael Cordes doing his Thanksgiving pie, and they do a drive-through. So they reach out to their database, they mail, they call, they send them a marketing piece. Which pie do you want? And then people drive through. He says hi, high five, how you doing? So watch this. This is kind of cool.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Cortesas.
And I'm Elaine Yates with the Cortesas Real Estate Team.
We're at our Thanksgiving Client Appreciation event. We want to thank everyone for their referrals and their support. We truly appreciate it. And oh, by the way, we're never too busy for your referrals.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Fun. 238 pies, 12 referrals, 4 of them closed before the end of the year, and a bunch more CMAs. How many of you like the idea of giving away pies as part of your job? 8 of you? Okay. Okay, how about you just go beat your head against a bunch of Fizbos then? I'm looking for the pie people. Okay? Every case, I always choose pie. All right. It's just fun. It's cool. Building a relationship, and it's just a little communication of value, a little demonstration of care. Okay? These are not just people with a house. They're your database. They're your relationships. You build a relationship. Great example. I showed you the marketing strategy with the mailers. Here's the social media stuff. So we started providing infographics around the same. So it looks similar to the marketing pieces that you're doing in mail and then the email. Okay, so here's the February one. You see, you can recognize it, can't you? You can recognize it because it has a similar look and feel, little different information. So little drip, little drip, little drip. So now we're doing the mail, we're doing the email, we're doing the infographics, and then we're encouraging people to actually do social media videos. So yours truly, I record kind of a market update every month. And what are our clients doing? See? So they're doing this. Some are sending it out just the way I give it to them, because I speak on your behalf. But that's only about 25% of the people. About 50% of the people, we give them the script and they're recording it themselves. Fabulous. And then we have another 25% that are doing video on themselves, and they show a little piece of me and then go back to themselves. And I love that about real estate people. You're innovative, you're creative. So now you got this. You got the calls, you got the mailings, you got the e-reports. We're supplementing with a little personal note. We got the infographics, and then we send a video. And it's all targeted, marketed around the 10 reasons why people are moving. Does this make sense? And it's fun, it's entertaining, it's educational. So now I'm going to show you a bunch of RE/MAX agents doing the videos. So I give them the videos, I give them all the content. You'll see some of the content I covered here today. And this is the social media posts they're sending to their database. Now you tell me how good this looks. Now you'll see that one by one they're all kind of doing the same message. But take a look.
Hello, family of clients. This year, I'm committed to delivering updated market information.
In 2023, there were fewer than 4 million real estate transactions.
And that was the lowest number of homes sold in the last 30 years. So think about this. In 1993, we had just 260 million people living in the United States.
Now we have 340 million. Last year was a really record low.
That's why there's a huge pent-up desire for people to make a move in 2024. So, the #1 age group that wants to make a move is millennials.
There are 72 million of them. 45.5 million are between the ages of 26 and 35.
At the age of 26, this is the average age when people move out of their parents' home. At the age of 35 is when the average person buys their first home.
This is the biggest number of potential buyers in US history. If you've been looking to make a move
or know someone who is, now is the time to talk through the unique opportunities in this market.
It is. Did that sound professional? So how many of you found the data I shared with you today helpful? Do you think your customers might need that stuff? So that's what we're doing. You have to be the source. We want you to be the hero. I'm not personally interested in doing social media videos to your customers. I'm doing them, but I'd rather you did it. We want you to be the hero. We want you to be the people delivering the information, delivering the education, delivering the perspective, becoming the trusted advisor, and then gently, oh, by the way, we're never too busy for any of your referrals. So we have this thing systemized. Now, I just found out about this morning. So I'm going to tell you, this program has been around for 20 years, this mailing system, and we completely revamped it in December 9th. And it's been the single fastest growing thing we've ever had as a company. So I don't know why they came up is this. RE/MAX has made significant investments and partnered with Buffini & Company on a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to share with you, whether it's a leadership conference, whether it's the marketing programs, and then also like our training programs. You guys are able to, you're able to buy those training programs less than anyone in the market. And this thing right here is $150 a month and has been for quite a few years. We never discounted this at all. RE/MAX has partnered up with us, and if people who are at R4, only at R4, so don't be telling anybody else because it's here, it's $99 a month, which is kind of crazy because I have 6 kids, man. So we're going to get to some questions here in a minute. Let me say this. I am 38 years at this game, 29 years doing this. What I loved about real estate was a chance to put a set of keys in a person's hands who never thought they'd ever own a home. I loved about real estate that someone was in a bad situation and I could get them into a good situation. I could help people move their families to a place where their kids could thrive. I helped people build their single largest asset in their life. People who'd been in poverty were all of a sudden not. And people who were able to ultimately build generational wealth. So that's been the juice for me for a long, long time. And then I got into this business to be able to impact and improve the lives of people who do that. And that's been the juice. My brother Dermot met with all the international folks yesterday, and we were up till late last night, and he's telling all the stories of people whose lives have been changed. The international folks have taken all the 100 Days to Greatness and translated them into all these different languages and all this different stuff throughout the RE/MAX network. And we were last night, and again, we're almost 30 years at this, and I got to tell you, it's rejuvenating, it's inspiring to remember what the hell you do it for. Does that make sense? And this is what you do. You put those keys in people's hands that never thought they'd have a house, especially now. You navigate the landmine of what is a real estate transaction. It's a minefield. Is that true? And it's about to be even more of a minefield here after July for those of us in the States. But it's a very, very powerful thing. And I hope when you think about this stuff, you think about the fact that you are actually in the life-changing business. And it happens to be through selling an asset called real estate. And I'm going to share a great story. She's been a client of ours for a long time, RE/MAX agent. But this is the beautiful thing about this business. And this is one of the reasons I'm going to continue to fight the game here. Because as much as they're trying to screw things with commissions and all that kind of stuff right now, this has been the business. Like, I came to America with $92 in my wallet, and I got in a very serious motorcycle accident. I was 19 years old, 7,000 miles away from home. I had no particular prospects, no particular skills, no particular opportunity. But real estate took me in and gave me a chance. And in direct proportion to how hard I was willing to work, it transformed not only my life, my family's life, and now my kids' and grandkids' life. And that is the magic of this business. And I'm going to keep fighting for that. you know, the stupidness of this latest ruling is going to be harder for first-time agents. But I'm telling you, this is still an opportunity worth fighting for. Joanne Zabrowski is a client of ours. And Joanne Zabrowski came to us. She had adopted 2 young girls from Asia. Her husband took off and left her in $250,000 in credit card debt. This is 20 years ago. And she's in the real estate business, and she has very few prospects and nowhere else to go. But she applied herself to a system to try to build relationships, exceed people's expectations, do the fundamentals of doing the mailings, making the calls, writing the personal notes, and transformed her business to become one of the most successful real estate agents in her region and one of the most successful realtors in the entire RE/MAX system. But it's a beautiful thing. And if you're here today, maybe this will serve as an encouragement, because she started out in a rough spot and is now in a fantastic spot. And it can encourage you. And maybe you've gotten a little jaded on the way. And maybe you got busy and whatever else, and it's time to get re-inspired. And when we look at stories like this, maybe we can catch a little fire ourselves. Does that make sense? So let's take a look at Joanne Zabrowski's story.
So I've been in real estate for about 21 years, and I got into real estate because I felt I was good at sales. When we moved here, we sold our house and we had a realtor do it, and I said, that looks so easy, you know, and I thought, I can definitely do that. We had been married for 15 years, couldn't have kids, and we took a trip to China. We adopted 2 girls, Kristen and Sarah, a year apart. Came out here, I didn't know a soul, got my license. The only thing you can do is cold call. It was a 7-day-a-week, 8 to 10 hours a day, and it was hard. It was not a nice life at all. In about the year 2000, I got divorced. He left us with no money. He left us in debt with IRS and credit cards of $150,000. During that time, I kept thinking there has to be a better way to do this, and I just wasn't happy. So then I went to a half day that Brian had, and I just said, this is it. Shortly after that, I signed up for coaching, even though I didn't have much money, but I said, this is what I got to do.
When Joanne came to us, we worked on her business plan. She had some random thoughts and ideas what she wanted to do with her business, but we put together a plan that made sense for her and set some goals.
I just knew that I had to get all this debt paid off. It took me about 5.5 to 6 years to get that paid. I paid off everything. My coach was so helpful in getting me through that, and he kept telling me that I could make it through, and I just had to go out there and keep working.
We really utilize her great work ethic. She sets goals with personal notes, and she wants to achieve 50 personal notes in a given month, and she does a whole lot more even beyond that. So even in 2016, she had written over 1,200 personal notes. That has a lot of impact on people.
I think by doing the calls, notes, and pop-bys and the events, I think I've kind of created a little community within my client base. So I have a whole basket of notes that I've gotten in my office, and I get notes daily because people are just thanking me. And I just feel so good that I can brighten someone's day.
My mom is my biggest role model by a long shot. She works tirelessly, and she's so selfless in everything she does, and she's always really positive. She's always pushed me to do what I want to do, and I know she loves what she does. She's so good at it.
So this is a letter that my daughter wrote. So she says, I'm grateful for all the little things you do for me and for all the good times.
Remember all those little notes you used to leave in my lunchbox?
I still have most of those tucked away somewhere.
And all those times we went to St. Paul and played soccer in the rain, or we stayed up late talking?
Those always stand out to me as some of the very best times.
I'm so fortunate and lucky to have parents who are always there for me, who understand and will help me out and cheer me on no matter what.
I'm Joanne Zabrowski, and I'm living a good life.
So, you know, everything always looks great in the video. When I asked her years ago what motivated you to get into coaching when you didn't have any money, she goes, well, my friend in the office told me it was cheaper than therapy. I said, Joanne, we can't use that on the brochure, you know what I mean? But here's the lesson in that. In dire straits, got into this beautiful business, supported in this organization. Not only did she build herself a great business, but a great life. Her oldest daughter, who's in that video, just finished med school. So what you're able to do and what this business still affords, it's still the greatest business I've ever seen. And it's the purest form of entrepreneurism. I love real estate, people, and I love what you do every day, and it makes a huge bloody difference to people. And I hope you're encouraged by that, inspired by that, to go do more, inspire more people. And by the way, the people who help everyone out should be blessed themselves. You should be blessed with a great living. You should be blessed with lots of acknowledgement from your own customers and be able to be a blessing to your families as well. And that's why we do the pure, hard work. Does that make sense? So we're going to open it up. We're going to do a few questions. Yeah, bless you. We're going to do a few questions we have for you. We have mics available. And if you have a question, open line Friday. Whatever you want to talk about, pop your hand in the air. Here they are. Great. Tell us who you are and where you're from, please.
My name is Jane Johnston. I'm from Victoria, British Columbia. And
Lovely.
actually, I just sent a text message to Michael Cortese, and he says hello.
Nice.
So I'm just wondering if you have the stats for Canada. Do you share them monthly as well?
I do. We have a total. So not only do we have the Canadian Do It Now program, but we have the French Canadian Do It Now. Because God knows the people in Quebec won't use the stuff that the rest of you use. So, yeah, we have a Canadian version, Canadian stats, Canadian information, Canadian videos even. So, yeah, we're all there.
Okay, merci beaucoup.
Bonne chance. Great. Who else? If you have your hand in the air, who are you? Where are you from? Who has the mic? Oh, okay. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hi, my name is Quays Abdullah. I'm with Realty World Regency out in San Francisco, California.
Nice.
And the question I have for you is, my broker always tells me not to confuse success with momentum. What is your take on that?
Well, what's he mean? I don't know. A lot of people doing drugs up in Northern California, you know.
Well, every time I win, I want to maybe slow down and take a break, but he's like, don't confuse success with momentum.
Well, he's a wise man.
Yes.
So, why do you want to slow it down?
I don't.
Are you doing drugs? So here's the key. What you're talking about is this, okay? The bottom line is what we teach in our coaching is called a rest-run cycle, okay? Which is you go hard, then you must rest. And you go hard with the view to know you're having the rest. And the great example of this is up in Alaska, they have the Alaskan sled races, right, with the Iditarod. And so for years, you know, they do this race, and it's the hardest race in the world, 1,100 miles, and they have these sled dogs, and they run these dogs, and many times they die at the end of the race. Well, one guy came along, and he trained his dogs to go super hard, and then they'd stop, and they'd rest for like hours. And he'd feed them, and they'd rest, and he'd get up again and go again. He became the world champion Iditarod racer because he won it 4 years in a row. Actually ended up making a fortune selling the dogs he was breeding. And he figured out that he could go faster and further than everybody else because he went hard and then took a rest. Went hard and took a rest. Went hard, took a rest. So that's the way you keep momentum. When you're going hard, you have a picture in front of you. Like I have a very busy month here. But I have my phone on my phone. If I had my phone right here, I have cameras on my property in Hawaii, right where the whales are. And throughout the day, I'll take a little picture and I'll go, yeah, I'll be there on the 29th. Does that make sense? It allows me to be very present and give everything I have when I'm with you. I've been coming to this thing for 29 years. I don't want people, oh man, I wish you'd have heard him years ago. I want people to go, you should hear him now. He's never better. But that's because you want to go hard and you want to rest. People who just go hard all the time, they burn out, they fry out, and they don't last. So that's what I think he means. And if it doesn't, he just sounds more brilliant now because of my explanation. Who's next? I'll be teaching my class on humility later on. Who are you? Where are you from?
Natalie Correa.
Hey, wave your hands. I can't.
Over here.
Oh, hey, what's your name?
Natalie Correa from Remax Property Experts, Salinas, California.
Oh, lovely place.
1 month in real estate, so I would love to know what's your best advice for me.
Okay, so you're in Salinas. I've been up there. They got the big rodeo up there.
Yes.
Fabulous. Why'd you get into real estate?
I come from car sales.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I love real estate.
Yeah.
Monterey. I'm in the Monterey area as well.
Great.
So, yeah.
What's your goal?
Luxury real estate.
No, but what's your goal?
To get into luxury real estate.
Yeah. Why are you doing it?
Um,
Why are you doing this business? See, that's the goal I'm asking her. She doesn't need your help with her goals. Thanks, honey. I appreciate it. So, let me ask you, are you married?
I'm actually widowed.
Widowed. Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
You have kids?
No kids.
Okay.
So that's my why, I guess.
Yeah,
To
what's
prove
your
to
why?
myself that life is, you could keep going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your business card. You're going to hand it to the gentleman who gave you the microphone. Okay? Can you do that for me?
I will.
Here's what I'm going to do for you. I am going to gift you a 100 Days to Greatness training program. Okay? And we are going to get you on the right foot. We're going to get you on the right path. You're going to have goals that you'll walk through a brick wall for. And you're going to go and build your database. I'm going to give you one coaching tip. Everyone on the planet wants to get into luxury real estate right now. And it's all the shows, and it's all the thing, and Inman News, and Beverly Hills, and everything else. It's a tiny percentage of the market. So let me just tell you this. I am a luxury real estate guy, sold a lot of it. I am it. But the most rewarding real estate transactions I ever did in my life were some pretty ordinary folks. So just so you know, there's a compensation in this business beyond that. So if it's your goal, great, go for it. But just so you know, build your database, build your relationships. You may find that you're making more money and having more reward, and you're not on HGTV $1 million listing, okay? So we'll get you going in 100 days. All right, a few more here. Where are we at? Yep, who has the mic?
Here. Over here.
Hey.
Hola, Brian, ¿cómo estás? Bueno,
Bien, ¿y tú?
desde Argentina. Muy bien. Te quería consultar si tuviste la posibilidad de estudiar Argentina, cómo evolucionó en los últimos años y qué proyección podés llegar a ver desde afuera que tenemos en el país. Más que nada también por las inversiones extranjeras que están diciendo que pueden llegar o no, como los canadienses con en Estados Unidos y demás.
Yeah.
Tuvimos muchas turbulencias y a partir de ahí, bueno, estamos viendo a ver qué va a pasar. Si van a subir, van a tener un rebote el valor de las propiedades o no. Hay intenciones de que vuelvan los créditos hipotecarios, pero mucha incertidumbre como siempre en Argentina. ¿Okay?
Well, the part I understood was Lionel Messi. That was great.
I got it. Yeah.
And I love Lionel Messi, just so you know.
Perfect.
Let me say this. Where's all the folks from Argentina? Where are you guys at?
Vamos!
Okay. Now, you guys have some of the best leaders in the history of leadership, not just in...
Yes, we know.
And I'm going to say this. Let me say this. Their market, when they talk about, oops, we've suffered 9% inflation, people are jumping off bridges. Like, oh, yeah, it hit 150 this month. You guys have had, in my opinion, the toughest real estate market to deal with in the last 5 years. And your group has done the most remarkable, extraordinary job in the face of the most difficult circumstances. And it is a credit to you. It's an inspiration. I would encourage every RE/MAX agent to have a conversation with people from RE/MAX Argentina and go back to your market and slaughter it. Because these guys do a great job in an unbelievably difficult market. So,
Ok, Brian,
all the
ya
best.
sabes en Argentina a quién llamar. Ok?
What was that?
Que ya sabes en Argentina a quién llamar.
Well, let me tell you, I was supposed to go down there. They've been asking me for 7 years, and I was about to get on the airplane the day COVID shut everything down. And I'd have been down in Argentina for 6 months, which my brother was delighted at the idea of. So we'll get it on the list one of these days. I'll be down there, and I'm looking forward to seeing the folks in Argentina in person. Okay?
Vamos!
It'll happen.
Vamos, Argentina.
It'll happen.
Uruguay.
Okay, next question. Who doesn't want me to travel halfway around the world? Okay? Look for the people who have the mic. Get their attention, yeah? Great. Hi. Who are you? Where are you from? Hi.
Hi, Brenda Taylor with Dallas, Texas.
Dallas. Great.
My question to you, after 23 years in the business myself, we have up and downs,
Yeah.
right? How would you advise us to keep a steady business at the same time that you balance your personal life
Yeah.
from up and downs and from getting overwhelmed sometimes?
Brilliant question. So hold the mic there for a second. So first and foremost, you know, we got to take the self out of self-employed. We all need help. We all need encouragement. You need to surround yourself with positive people. You need to make a commitment. If you own your own business, you have to have a mental diet that supports you. Here's the thing. I've been on this crazy tour, traveling. You know what I did at 4 o'clock this morning? I got up and watched my old mentor, Jim Rohn. And then I watched my old mentor, Og Mandino. And I followed up with a little Zig Ziglar until my phone died. So that I could have my energy and I could be in the right place to come and serve all of you today. And I'm at this a long time. So we got to put the good stuff in. We got to put the good stuff in. Because the real key is this business is hard. And being self-employed is hard. And so for me, like a coach is key, but it's not the only thing. You need to be around a community of people that support you. You want to have a positive vibe in the office and find people that are your tribe. You just make a daily dose. Like, here's the thing. If you live on social media, I mean, the scrolling and the binge watching, it's just easy to do. And so the key is, like, I do a podcast. We've had $20 million. I did the podcast just as a supplement. And now it's things people live by. So what can you be putting in? So, you know, again, what books are you reading? What are you listening to? What events are you going to? I presume you've been fired up by coming here to R4, just the buzz, the people, the organization. I'm not alone. And so that's the key. That's the key. So keep coming to the events, keep networking, but keep feeding your mind and heart. And then what happens, you'll find yourself getting better results and you don't even know why. Because your energy is there and your attitude's there. So, you know when they say, oh, when the oxygen mask comes on, you got to put it on yourself first before you put it on your child or whatever else? I'm going to say this. If you're self-employed, you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your customers. So you're 23, 24 years in the business. Congratulations. It's people like you are the cornerstone of this. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Because without you, this doesn't happen, and home ownership doesn't happen. And so I'm sure you made a good living, good markets, bad markets, but take good care of yourself. And as how you invest in yourself, it will change everything for you personally, and it will also, like I say, your ability to earn will grow as your learning increases, okay?
Thank you so much.
Good for you, good for you. Okay, I got a couple more, 2 more. By the way, this lady here, I'm gonna take you over there. This lady here is gonna have a heart attack if we don't get to her. Okay, who has the mic? Okay, here you go. And then, okay, these ladies here are gonna jump on top of the stage if I don't get it to them, so. Yeah, great. Who are you? Where are you from? Oh, mic on. I've spoken to more dead mics than an Irish undertaker. You know what I mean?
My name is Jennifer. I'm from Spruce Grove, Alberta, in Canada.
Hi.
Hello. I have 18 years real estate experience, but I moved from BC to Alberta last year.
Yeah.
And so I went from being a listing agent with lots of pipeline to more of a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
And in Alberta, you can't solicit expired listings. So I'm just sort of scratching my head as to how to start my pipeline here.
Great. Okay. So Same 100 Days has a program called New to the Business or New to the Area.
Okay.
So your job right now is to go build a database. And by the way, so it's a brave thing to move, but you go from being, hey, I'm big time over here, and I'm like a rookie over here.
Totally.
Now, just so you know, there's a dissonance that you feel that's healthy, and then you also got to take it as an excitement. Like, this is an opportunity, it's a challenge. Your first goal is to get 100 people in your database.
Okay.
Meeting people, get out and connecting. You don't have to hammer expireds to start. You need to get out and about. Out and about, as you would say. Okay? And so, okay, who's cutting your hair and who cuts grass, and go to the chambers of commerce and network with other people. And there's agents in the area, they don't want to do an open house. And you do the open house for them and you meet people. Your first goal is 100 people in your database. The next phase is to get 100 A people, right? So you build it up to the point that you get 100 people who would refer you if you asked them. And it seems tedious, but that's the job. Once you have a database, you have a business.
Right. And so I've been appealing to like BC buyers coming, and that's working. Like in a couple years, I'll have a good pipeline.
Yeah.
But in Alberta, like open houses aren't as big, and neither are expiries.
Okay. So great. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to show you how we coach somebody. So you just gave me 3 reasons of what doesn't work in Alberta. You tell me, if you were coaching me and I just moved to your area, what advice would you give me to go build a database? What would you tell me to do? I just moved there. I'm Irish, live in San Diego. I just moved to Alberta. It's cold. I don't even have a coat.
I would think your kids' school. If you've got kids, grandkids, get on like a fundraiser committee there.
Okay.
I personally held a neighborhood Christmas party last year to get to know my neighbors.
Great, I'll try that.
One thing. And door knocking.
Yeah. Other than that.
Church.
There you go. Find Jesus and get a database. Nothing wrong with that. Right? Praise the Lord. So here's what I want you to do. You should check out 100 Days to Greatness. We give you a dozen ways to build a database. I'm going to give you a little coaching tip, and again, there's thousands of people. The only reason I'm going to do this is because there's probably 100 people in the same spot here today, and they're not going to stand up and ask the question. What we tend to lead with is why we can't. What we tend to lead with is what the obstacle is. Okay? What we have to do is you have to be totally sold on, this is doable. The dissonance is telling you, I had a database and now I don't. What you have to do is you have an opportunity to meet new people everywhere you go. I'll tell you a little story. I used to do, before our events got so big we had to do them in convention centers, we used to do them in hotels. And I'd have 600 or 700 realtors at a hotel for 2 days, and I'm teaching them to ask people by referral. Ask them for referrals, whatever else. For 2 years, and I started filming this, the staff and I would have dinner in the hotel the last night. And the waiter in the hotel who'd been serving people breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a real estate conference for 2 days, I'd say to him, hey, how you doing, or whatever else. Oh, you'd be good in real estate. Well, it's funny you say that. I'm looking for a house. Okay. I said, I'm curious. In the last 2 days, how many people asked you were you interested in buying a house? None. At a frickin' real estate conference. Let me say this. One of the great gifts I was given was I came to America as an immigrant, and all I saw was the opportunity everywhere. And people told me what couldn't happen. Oh, no, you can't get referrals till you're 5 years in the business. And you need to know things for 3 years, and you need to know this, and you know that. The truth of the matter is, when you're an immigrant, your eyes are wide open, and all you see is opportunity everywhere. You are an immigrant to Alberta. And you need to have that attitude that everything's an opportunity, and every challenge is an opportunity, and I'm going to find a way, come hell or high water, to put 100 people in my database. And that's where you're going to go, okay? So good for you. One more.
Hello?
Got to get the mic down here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What is your name, sweetheart?
My name is Giselle Sologren.
Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Fabulous. And how?
Yeah.
All right. Hey.
Woo!
How long
Yeah.
have you been in the business?
3 years, and I kind of have a different perspective because I'm a marketing and technology trainer for
Okay.
RE/MAX Integrity Northwest
Okay.
Equity Group.
Great.
And I have a question for you, and since I got you here, I wanted to ask you.
Great.
With your Buffini CRM, right? It's amazing. I have agents using it, and I also have agents that use Max Tech powered by KV Core. Is there any day, or will there be a time where it integrates, where people have the emails involved, the social media graphics, the CRM with all of that? Will that ever be a thing? And I wanted to ask you, right? Because you're the guy to ask. And I think it would be great. You guys.
I always like when I bring my sister to the audience. We are working on that as we speak, my darling.
Wonderful! Woo! That's amazing. Thank you, thank you.
Stay
I'm so
tuned.
glad. Thank you.
Stay tuned. Thank you. My children appreciate that question. Did you guys get the mic? Please. Okay.
Hello, Brian. So
Hi.
I'm in representation of this group. I'm Franco from Remax Paraguay, and my question is the following. So you
By the
train, yeah.
Paraguay and Argentina in soccer. So Argentina got some FaceTime, so Paraguay's got to get some FaceTime. It's good.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So considering you've trained thousands and thousands of agents worldwide, what would you say is the single characteristic that all the top producers have in common?
What are the characteristics that all top producers have in common?
Just one. What would you say is the single one?
I think a commitment to grow. I think a commitment to grow. Pity the person that grows their bank account and doesn't grow themselves. They'll eventually lose their bank account. I think a commitment to grow. The best agents I've found have a commitment to grow. Dave Liniger and I know each other 30 plus years. And Dave and I would swap books and swap stories. We were there last night, and I went up to his book signing, and we were sharing stories from back in the day. And he goes, I used one of your quotes over here in the book. And I go, that's all right, Dave. I used one of your quotes over here on the listing presentation. Because 1 and 1 together makes 11. So I would say the very most successful people in the industry, they grow, and then they find people who are growing. Because 1 and 1 together make 11. And so you got a group here that's enthusiastic and fired up. What books are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you observing? When somebody does something innovative, like the pie party, that wasn't our idea. That was one of our clients' idea. We shared it with the rest of our clients, and now Costco sells 1 million pies. Great people will want to share the good stuff. There's people who are speakers. Don't let anybody see my slides. Take them all. There's plenty more where that came from. You know what I'm saying? So grow, find other people who are growing. The fact that you guys are here says so much. You guys will get more out of this event and all the people who traveled so far, because it's not easy to get here. And then you travel and you work hard and you go through it and you're launching a brand, and the people go, what does the RE/MAX? What does the slash stand for? Okay, I know all this. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to 47 countries for RE/MAX. And so it's so inspiring. And it's one of the reasons I love coming here. And the fact that you're doing it, you got your crew here, grow, encourage them to grow, and then you'll see. And then as a leader, when people grow and are successful, you need to elevate them and tell people, hey, here's what they're doing, and let them share and grow the culture that way. Okay? It's good stuff. Great. Speaking of that, okay, last one.
First, Mr. Buffini, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
I am Stacy Nauman. I'm with RE/MAX Professionals in Reno, Nevada.
Nice.
And you were talking about how you listen to your mentors in the morning, and that's why I wanted to thank you for being here, because I do listen to your podcast religiously every week, and you are such an inspiration. My question for you is twofold. First, can you share with us one of your favorite selling experiences? And second, as we move into this changing industry, what would be the top skill we as agents should be honing in on?
Great. Well, I'll answer the second one first.
Okay.
So the future of real estate is very clear to me. Number one, it is about personal lead generation. Personal lead generation. When you personally develop leads, you build a personal relationship. No changes in the market's going to do that. Second, people have to become far better at negotiation, because every part of the transaction is now a negotiation. And then third is presentation. We've all but forgot presentations. We just email over the offer and DocuSign this and DocuSign that. You're going to have to provide menus for sellers and menus for buyers, choices and options. Come April 1st to the presentation I'm doing, I'm going to get into that in detail. But lead gen, number one, personal lead gen. I'm telling you, all the online lead people are about to suck wind, because they're about to get online buckets of poo, because the people who are coming will go, great, and now I want you to represent me for nothing. So that's personal lead gen. Number two, negotiation. And I'm going to tell you, I buy a lot of real estate, And over the last number of years, as the market's gone like this, the skill level and the ability's gone like this. The skill level in this industry is the lowest I've seen it in 30 years. And then third, presentation. And you're going to have to present options to people so people can make choices. And that's really that's the big consequence of this whole thing when you're presenting people for commissions and whatever else. You're going to have to present people options, which, by the way, we often did in the past. But we're going to have to be better at it. So that would be that. My favorite all-time selling story, I haven't told this in years. He was a surfer dude. Surfer dude in San Diego, California. And he was the hardest type of client you ever work with because he liked everything. So I'd show him a house. So what do you think? Cool. Could you see yourself living here? Oh, yeah. Would you like to make an offer on this one? Nah. Next house. What do you think? Cool. Could you see yourself living here? Totally. Is this the one you'd like to write an offer on? Every showing. Finally, show him this house. What'd you think of the house? Cool. Could you see yourself living here? Totally. Is this the one you'd like to write an offer on? Definitely. I want to ask him why, but I'm terrified to ask why in case he decides not to buy. But I had to know. I just had to know. I'm like, what was, because it was identical. It was the same area. It was close to the beach, Claremont Mesa. Every house is a tract house. They're all the same. So I just had to know. So I go, what's the differentiator? He goes, I really like the dude's dog. Can you get me the dog? So I tell him all the ethical reasons why I can't take someone's child from them. He goes, no, dude, I really want the dog, man. So I wrote up the offer. And I presented it in person because I felt this required an in-person presentation. And I go, I have a client, he's a lovely fellow, he's really a nice guy. I want you to know he's a very nice person. He's a surfer guy, he wants to do a straight shot to Pacific Beach, he loves everything about it. I said, he really likes your house, but he really likes your dog. And he wants to know, would you include the dog? And the wife goes, oh! And the husband goes, how much did he offer? True as I'm standing here, we got him the dog. We got him the dog, physical inspection, the whole thing. Dude got the house and the dog. And he was a referral machine for me. And all he ever talked about with the dudes at Pacific Beach was, hey man, this guy can get you a dog and a house. And so I get, true story, true story. All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to go do a little pop-by. I'm going to be down at booth 180. By the way, one of the things I was asked to share is RE/MAX is doing something very unique. We've never done this in our 30-year history or theirs. How many of you have been to our leadership conference? Brokers, managers, team leaders. Awesome event. So this year it's going to be in Arizona, the 26th and 27th. So here's what's happening. RE/MAX is basically sponsoring you guys to go to this thing, and there's going to be an extra day for all the RE/MAX leaders who go to this event. So it's basically, we're combining our gifts together, and so we're doing the event for 2 days, and who knows, I might be around on that third day, where there's a RE/MAX third day for RE/MAX people only. And I'd like to give a big thank you and round of applause. RE/MAX are invested in you, and this is, whether you go or not, you should thank the leadership of RE/MAX for doing this kind of stuff, okay? It's great stuff. So, great. You want to be a leader? You want to grow your brokerage, your team, you come. Let me finish with this. And I'm going to encourage you to Google this, YouTube this, and share this with your clients. I saw this a couple years ago. We made a few little modifications. It's out there on the net. And it's called God Made a Realtor. And I want you to take a look at this so we can all remember why we do what we do and what we actually do. Let's take a look at this together.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a realtor. God said, I need somebody that will get up before dawn with the dedication of the sun, risk time, energy, and investment for no salary or guarantee, work long hours on the street, prepare and deliver presentations, serve and attend to others' emergencies, then stay out past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a realtor. God needed somebody mentally tough that could wake up unemployed every day, yet gentle enough to have compassion for others. Someone that can build a bridge between people and technology. Someone to arrive home nightly in the dark to accommodate others' time, tell them, thank you for the opportunity, and mean it. So God made a realtor. God said, I need somebody that can sell like Carnegie, make contacts and write contracts, handle objections and deal with rejections, and who can finish her 40-hour week by Wednesday noon, then weary from contingencies and people's eccentricities and volatilities, put in another 40 hours and sacrifice a weekend too. So God made a realtor. God needed somebody that does not measure their work in hours, but by the satisfaction of their clients, someone to handle emotions unemotionally, to meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. God said, I need somebody strong enough to knock doors and be ignored, direct mail and email, run ads, deliver notepads, Yelp and blog and work like a dog, make calls and get up from falls, and who will stop her efforts when called upon to mend the broken spirit of a colleague or client. So God made a realtor. It had to be somebody who'd honor ethics and integrity and not cut corners, to keep their head when all about them are losing theirs, and trust themselves where others doubt. Someone that can hold on when there is nothing left inside except the will which says, hold on. Who'd laugh and then sigh and then respond with smiling eyes when her son says he wants to spend his life doing what mom does. So God made a realtor.
Amen. Amen. Well, it's been a privilege to be with you. I'm going to hang out down at the booth and take some pictures and do all that kind of stuff and say hello. I'd love to hear your stories. Let me leave you with a little Irish blessing. Are the Irish here, by the way? Go on, you good things. May the roads rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. The rain soft upon your fields and the sunshine warm upon your face. Until we meet again, may God hold you all in the hollow of his hand. Thanks for having me. God bless you, RE/MAX. Enjoy your conference. Take care.